Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, LovedHappy. I'm so glad you guys are tuning in today. Today is part 2 of the Q&A that I'm doing. The first part I shared with you guys last week, so I'll be sure to link that down below in the description. In this part of the Q&A, you guys asked a lot of amazing parenting questions in particular that are super challenging, and I'm going to do my best to answer those questions right now, so let's get into it. So my good friend on here, Louisa, asked, how did you and your husband meet? I actually told you the story in the first part of the Q&A, so you can check that out. How long have we been married for? At the end of May this year, we will have been married 4 years. Do you find YouTube stressful? Like finding the time to film and edit while looking after your daughter? To me, it really just depends on how things are going in life, whether or not it's stressful and how well I feel balanced. If you noticed, 2 weeks ago when I did the cleaning hacks video, I didn't do any other videos besides that because that one took a lot of work, and the week before that I had a bunch of videos. So I'm just constantly checking in with myself and doing what feels right to me. To me, that's really important, just constantly evaluating things and readjusting things, because being a wife and a mom, those two things are so all-encompassing, and those relationships are so important, and just caring for myself in other ways. Honestly, I always want to make sure my husband, myself, my heart, my relationship with the Lord, and my children are getting my best attention and my best energy. And if I am sick or if I need a break, I'm going to take that. I just love YouTube, and I have a really hard time working on something if I am stressed or if I'm not enjoying it. I don't want to come on here if I'm like ignoring things that really matter, you know? In regards to balancing YouTube with being a mom, my daughter does not nap well, and we have a really small place, so I cannot film during nap times, and she just does not let me film at all when she's awake. She'll literally just come up to me and whine. That could definitely change in the future, but that's how things are right now. So I've just recognized I can't film when she's awake. Sometimes I'll film after bedtime, and oftentimes my husband will give me just an hour or two on the weekend where he will just spend time with our daughter, and then I'll have that time to film. And depending on how organized I am, I can film a handful of videos in that time period. And then I tend to edit in the evening after my husband and I hang out, or sometimes I'll edit during her nap time as well. And if she falls asleep in the car, sometimes I bring my laptop to edit there. So that's kind of a brief overview on YouTube and stress. I'm definitely willing to compromise how many times I post in order to maintain that balance and just an overall healthy sense of self and relationship with my family and all of that. My friend Lisa asked, how do you handle multitasking? For example, say you need to wash the dishes and clean, but your daughter wants your attention. That definitely happens often. In my mind, I'm just aware of her limits beforehand, and being a mom, your expectations have changed. You know you can't do everything when you want to do it. Lots of times I break things up, whether it's putting laundry away or things like that. I kind of just go with her attention span, and I try and involve her as much as possible. With laundry, she likes to help me, and sometimes she'll hand me the hangers. With dishes, sometimes she can be more impatient, but sometimes when she's eating lunch in her high chair, I'm often doing dishes while she's eating, and then I just try and spend time with her before I'm about to dive into the dishes or anything like that, so I know that she has that connection. And if we've been inside all day, I'm not going to just keep doing the chores. I'm just going to go take her to the park or do something fun with her so that she can just expend her energy and have fun and be with other kids. And then I'll come do the dishes after, just when I know that she's had that. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure her needs are met before I ask that of her. Does that make sense? I definitely don't have a perfect system in regards to that. I just kind of go with the flow and go with how she's doing. She said, I live with my in-laws, so how do you handle when other people criticize you in your parenting style? Overall, our family is super supportive. I think we do make some slightly alternative parenting choices. Honestly, sometimes I can be kind of defensive and have a hard time with that, but it's always just getting myself into the place of knowing that their opinions don't matter. They had their chance to raise their kids. It's important to honor them, but also to let them know that these are our choices to make, and even if they disagree with them, we're making choices out of love. We love our daughter, and we're doing what we truly think is best for her every step of the way. So that definitely brings me peace of mind. I really just think it comes down to security and feeling secure, knowing that you're doing your best. There's so many different ways to parent out there, and I feel like it's such a big job. It's super easy to feel like stressed about doing something wrong or choosing the wrong thing. I think it's really just freeing to kind of let go and stop resisting their resistance. Just kind of accept whatever they want to spew at you. And I think the sooner you do that and accept that and just let them know that they're heard and that you hear what they're saying and you know they care, the more likely they are to back off more quickly. Does that make sense? Because if we're constantly defensive, they're going to keep wanting to come up against that to prove their point. Just try and be gracious and just remind yourself to let it go, what they're saying. Am I a save or splurge type of mom? I'm definitely not a splurge kind of mom, but I'm also not incredibly strict and frugal and buy the books all the time. I'm very much about balance. For instance, even though it costs more money than eating at home, my husband and I value going out to get lunch on the weekend just so we can spend that quality time together as a family and not get distracted by dishes and that sort of stuff. That's super valuable to us. Definitely used to be able to spend money more freely and just be able to go out and go shopping and have fun. But now that we have more financial obligations and just financial goals in general that I didn't have a few years ago, we're really trying to stick to a budget and be more thoughtful and kind of goal-oriented with our finances, meaning we'll say no to different things so that we can have other things. I'm definitely not someone who goes shopping every week or online shopping or gets coffee every day. Definitely really try and be thoughtful. I'm someone that's always been really conscious of money and always wanting to get a good deal and conscious of buying things on sale and that sort of stuff. So that is part of who I am as well. She also asks, how do you handle tantrums? My daughter is 18, 19 months. My daughter's not violent or anything when she throws tantrums. She's just really whiny and wants to be held and just, you know, walks around whining and whining. That's kind of her tantrum. She doesn't scream or anything, at least at this point. Thank the Lord for that. But I just try and talk to her in a calm voice, get down at her level, and give her the space that she needs. Sometimes I'll hold her and give her a hug. Oftentimes I will talk through whatever's going on and let her know what's going on. I'll let her know, you know, why she can't do something that she wants to do. For now, that works pretty well. I just kind of give her space to let it blow over and just try not to take it personally and try not to internalize all of that whining, because that whining could definitely get to you. So I just try and take a breath and almost just like separate myself from it. Just let her express what she needs to express, and it generally passes by. When do you find the time to pray or get yourself ready? I definitely pray throughout my day, and I'm just turning things over with the Lord. I've really been having a hard time finding that dedicated time in the middle of the day. Her schedule's been all over the place, so oftentimes I try and read the Bible when she's like up and around, but she wants to like turn the pages and wants me to do something else with her, so it's kind of hard, you know? Getting myself ready. First off, I know I don't look like I'm wearing like a ton of makeup, but I probably wear like half of what I'm wearing right now on a normal basis. And I know my hair doesn't look like amazing right now, but my hair looks like probably half as good. When do I find the time to get ready? That is a good question. I'm literally trying to think. Sometimes I'll get ready during her nap. For me, getting ready is kind of like putting on a little makeup. That's like the main thing. Getting dressed obviously does not take much time at all. And oftentimes I do that after her nap, after she's eaten. My daughter actually loves for me to sit down in front of the mirror and put makeup on. She loves like going through my makeup, so she always wants me to draw a little something on her hand with my eyeliner. So I'll draw little stars or little flowers on her hands, and that really actually helps engage her in that. So she actually loves being a part of that in that regard. What works best with her schedule right now is leaving the house in the mid-afternoon if we need to go do anything. So yeah, I kind of get ready in the afternoon because that's just what works best. Oh, she also has to wake up earlier or put something on for your daughter to watch while doing it. I do not wake up earlier to get ready, no. Happy Home Life asks, what have you found to be your biggest struggle in being a mom? What comes to mind right now is just how much you are needed, and just needed on a constant basis, and how you always have to put those needs first, you know? Just that dying to yourself and constantly serving. That is so exhausting even today. It's also been obviously an incredible gift and an opportunity for growth that I'm truly grateful for, but it definitely can be such a struggle sometimes. I think her not being a good napper ever since she was born has definitely made it harder, because I have never gotten like a solid chunk of time to myself. And just knowing that she constantly has needs that she needs help with, and just surrendering that, knowing that, yeah, that there's just such little time it feels like for myself or things that I want to do at the end of the day. That's what's coming to mind right now. What is my favorite thing about being a mom? Gosh, that's a good one too. I guess just all the love I have in my heart. I feel like being her mom has just opened up all these new rooms and realms inside of my heart, and just being able to love someone like that, it's so different than any other type of love, and even just how I'm able to perceive and receive the love of God through being a parent myself has been beautiful. All the things that I have learned, and just how it teaches you to be selfless, even though that has been a struggle. It's been really freeing and really refining as well, and I'm definitely grateful for that. But just that love and that special relationship has definitely been a treasure. Do I plan to stay at home with Elliot for a while? I definitely want to be at home with Elliot for a while and for other children. I don't have any other plans. I'm interested in homeschool. I kind of feel like I'm not cut out for it, but if I'm in like a solid homeschool group, or I don't know, I'm definitely open to other alternative forms of education like Montessori and those sorts of things, but those things are really expensive here, so I don't know what I'm going to do with her in that regard, but I definitely have no plans to go back to work. I really want to be here for her and for our other children. And she asks what led me to Christ. His love. Honestly, I've kind of always had a relationship with the Lord and known that He is real. I have never had this awakening to him in a sense, but I definitely have had critical moments in my life where I have committed more of my heart to him. I mentioned previously that I grew up going to church with my grandparents when I was very little, but I wasn't really raised in a Christian home. And then in junior high, I wanted to start going to church, so my mom would drop me off at church and I'd go to church and youth group, and God was very real to me at that point. I think it's really just been a journey of opening up my heart to him and to his love and surrendering myself over to him. In my last Q&A as well, I mentioned a time in college when I just left school because I felt like he was calling me to him and me to just a different, greater life, and that is when I left architecture and was on that pursuit of him. But it's never been super clear. I've always loved the Lord, but I have not walked with him consistently since I was a child. But I'd say after I came back from studying abroad, around the time I met my husband, my relationship with the Lord really changed, and I was able to encounter his love and his Holy Spirit in a very real way, in a way that I had been longing to know my whole life. And that definitely kind of woke me up to him, the reality of him, and what it's like to walk with him on a daily basis, and just being a part of a community of people who did that and who longed for that. Even though I haven't walked with him my whole life, I really feel like I have always accepted him. I just hadn't my whole life allowed him to take over me and take over my life. So, I mean, I think it's always a journey of letting go, but that's really been my personal walk with him, and just surrendering my heart and different parts of myself over to him. And that is it for the Q&A. Don't forget to go back and watch part 1 if you missed it. If you enjoyed this Q&A, give it a thumbs up. And also, please leave requests for other future videos in the comments below. I'd love to know what you want to see from me. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!